like to start out by looking at my door, because just as a constant reminder, if any of my videos have helped you decide to drive with Maverick Transportation, I'd appreciate it if you'd use my name as a referral. Enough said. I had a crazy night last night. I arrived at my pickup location. It's a lumber yard. They manufacture flake board, particle board, pre-IKEA products at approximately 5:20 in the afternoon or the evening. And my adventure began then and continued for a great length of time. I have a large variety of different types and sizes of flake board or particle board on this load. The front pieces are so wide that they couldn't double stack them next to each other. Usually you put a stack side by side on the deck, but these are too wide, so they had to, and they're 12 feet long. So it has 3 straps just for that. Nothing is over 2 stacks high, so I don't have any gut straps. Some people have different terms for them, but the company that I work for, they use the term gut strap to go in between anything over 2 stacks high. So anyway, I started at 5 in the afternoon, scaled in, and immediately was told there was 2 other Maverick trucks actually right there at the scale, but they were off the scale. They were off on the side, and the person in the scale house told me, go ahead and get off the scale, drive around, and get behind those 2 trucks, and when they go in, you can go in. I'm like, all right. She said there's too many trucks back there, so we have to wait until some come out. I'm gonna have to apply some more bungees to this area here because they stack the edge of the product prevents me from really tucking my tarp underneath. So I tried to use some bungees, and I check it quite often. I'm gonna have to see if I can throw some more on there to hold that up there tightly. Anyway, so I got in line, and then I want to say about 45 minutes later, we proceeded into the plant and got into what I call the extended wait line. And every 30, and there was, 12, 13 trucks ahead of us. And we went and checked in. There was 3 Maverick trucks that I drove in with at that particular time. So we all walked in and to shipping and gave them our information so they'd be ready to load us when it was our time. But let me say, it was no need for us to hurry. We walked up to the front of the line. There was another Maverick driver. He said he'd been there for 4 hours already. And so that made us think, well, we're going to run out of hours anyway, because I only had 2 left on my clock. And they had parking available at this particular location. So I was like, well, that's not necessarily a big deal. Because after I got everything secured, I'd just stay there. And not an issue. But because you can work, your 14-hour clock is only a clock for driving. You have 14 hours in which to complete your 11 hours of driving time. Otherwise, your on-duty time, your 70-hour clock can keep ticking away as long as you want it to. So, anyway, every 30 to 45 minutes, if not longer, our trucks, somebody would pull in to get loaded, and so we'd move forward, and that continued on and on and on and on and on. And I want to say it was about 2 a.m. At 2 a.m. I finally pulled into a position where I was next to back into a bay. There was only 2 bays for flatbeds to be loaded on. Needless to say, they were taking approximately an hour or more to load a truck. Then cover it in plastic, and then the driver would throw straps, and then they'd pull out and tarp outside of the load area. I backed in to the loading spot at 3 a.m. I arrived at 5:20 and backed in and was in the loading dock at 3 a.m. At 3:50, they started putting product on my flatbed. It was about 5:07 when they put the last product on my flatbed. So from 3:50 to 5:07 a.m. they loaded my truck. And after that point, I was able to drape it in plastic and throw straps, pull out of there, secure and do all my tarps. So at 6:50 a.m. I was done. This is the first time that this kind of occurrence has ever happened, to where I show up and have to wait for that length of time to proceed with my portion of my job. But so don't take this as a, hey, this happens every day. In my 1 year and 2-3 months worth of driving, this is the first time this kind of wait time has ever occurred. So I did my necessary paperwork and stuff with the Omnitrax unit, sent messages, just correctly identified my work time on my work clock, and sorry, I'm trying to show as much of the truck as possible without a glare. And if I do it the other way, if I stay on the other side. Anyway, after I sent in all the information, I went to bed at 6 in the morning and slept till about. The thing is my I spent over 10 hours in the waiting line, just nudging forward. And technically that can reset your driving clock. But I wouldn't consider it safe. I've done a lot of 24-hour missions for the Air Force, flying in the back of an aircraft working on patients. And that's a little bit different environment, because I'm not responsible for flying the aircraft and not crashing into anything. When working in the back of those aircraft for those periods of time, we have what they call crew rest periods, that we're able to swap with crew and take a nap and then get back up and continue our work. But I would never risk being up for 24 hours and then attempting to drive, because you just hear horror stories about that stuff. So I slept as long as I possibly could. And when I woke up, I had 5.5 hours left on my clock that I could still drive. Or I could have waited to reset my clock and then just drove for 11 hours. But either way, I cannot park at the receiver. So I had to make a determination, and I determined to drive here. I've got 6 hours that delivers tomorrow. It was scheduled for 9, but I estimate I'll be there around 11 or 12. Based on my loss of hours at the shipper, which has all been explained to my company. And that's the end of my crazy night. I will stay up as late as I can tonight. What I mean by that is at least 9 o'clock. Then go to sleep and wake up refreshed to complete my journey north through Branson, Missouri, up 65 into Kansas City, Missouri area. So we'll see.